Hey guys, welcome to an hour you'll never get back. I'm Travis, and with me is Kris,
Hey guys.
video game extraordinaire.
I like to think so.
Yeah, so I want to start off by talking about ourselves,
Okay.
right? Like, what do we like? What do we do? That sort of thing. So tell me about yourself.
That's a very broad, like just thing to ask right off the bat, who we are, that kind of thing.
We get down to business on this podcast.
We're taking care of the business.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business, yeah. Well, me, I'm a massive nerd. I play like all types of like board games. I play like Dungeons and Dragons. I play video games. I watch movies. I watch TV shows. Those are like the big things for me. And again, that's going to be a lot of kind of the things that I'll talk about because those are the things I know a lot about. What about yourself? Like, what are you kind of?
Yeah, I think that's why. A part of the reason why we're doing this podcast is because we have a lot of that in common. Right? Like, we both like movies, we both play video games, we grew up playing video games together.
That's true.
Couch co-op games, right?
Oh, God, do you remember couch co-op games?
I remember us playing, I think, was it Fear 2?
I think it was Fear 3 that we played.
Fear 3. And I played, like, the human soldier.
Yeah, you were the human guy, and I was the, like, ghost spirit dude. And I remember at the end, it was like, depending on who did more to the story. But, like, they gave the spirit guy some bullshit. And he, like stuff that the human character could never get. Like, how many people they possessed.
Yeah.
It was dumb. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to... I've kind of taken us off. Go ahead.
No, and it's funny you say that, because I remember at the end, we had to fight to the death. Like, after we played the whole game together, beaten all the bosses, beaten all the characters, all the AIs. At the end of the game, they make you fight each other to the death.
Spoilers.
And the game's like 15 years old. I think we're okay.
I mean, there's lots of games have that feature.
Yeah.
Like in them, they have a lot of like a lot of the newer co-op games, I should say. Will play off of that mentality of like you're going to spend the whole game with this person on your side to only at the very end have to kill them. They are your final boss, so to speak. Right?
Well, and at the ending, you were just talking about how powerful your character was. I unloaded like 6 clips on you, and it did nothing, and I think you just walked up and possessed me, and it was
over. Yeah. I don't know if it went exactly like that, but it definitely feels like it went exactly like that. Again,
yeah, I don't know.
So one thing I think we should say before we get too far into down the rabbit hole of what we're going to do with all of our talking and all of that is we should preface this by saying, like, you and I have known each other almost our entire lives. Mm-hmm. And we've done a lot of stuff together. We've played a lot of games. We've talked a lot. And just as I said, we've just known each other for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
So that'll probably get picked up in how we kind of talk and go through things. It'll probably be a lot of like, oh, do you remember this kind of thing? So
yeah, I don't think we necessarily have any big expectations for this either, right?
No,
it's kind of just like we're just gonna talk about shit, right? Oh, and by the way, I have a dog that's in the room, so you might hear her whine, you might hear her bark, you might hear her step on stuff. Just a heads up, it might be a little bit distracting, but nothing I can do about that. Anyways, yeah, I don't think we have any big expectations for this. I think this is just, I want to have fun with this, right? I want to talk about stuff. It can get as serious as we want and as playful as we want.
It can also get as sad as we want it to be or as happy as it's going to be, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, we don't really have like a set in mind of kind of what we're going to talk about. We're kind of just coming into it and talking about things as they come up. So like sometimes we might have, some funny stories that we're going to talk about, or, like we were just doing, talking about video games, that type of thing. I think it's just going to kind of flow with how we are feeling in the moment.
Right.
We're not really scripting anything overly.
Yeah, overly is the right way to put it, right? Because we want like some form of structure.
There's a little bit there, but
Yeah. Well, on that note, is there anything else you'd like to say about us or about the beginnings of this?
I mean, this is something we've been wanting to do for a long time.
We've tried it once before.
We have, but we kind of stopped doing it. But this is something that we've wanted to do a few times. But again, I'm as Travis said, we don't really have any big expectations for this. Like, I'm not expecting anybody to listen to this, period. But if it happens, it happens. Hey, I'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
But again, this is just something to kind of occupy our time and just be fun. So,
no, for sure.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, there's one thing I wanted to talk about specifically. Okay, and this is our favorite video games.
Oh,
I mean, it's been a huge part of our lives, playing video games, buying video games. And I wanted us to talk about it because it is a big part of our lives.
Very big.
Do you have like a top 10, or do you just kind of...
Do I have a top 10? I mean, I definitely have a top 10.
Oh.
It's probably a bit weird because like, there's all types of different games in there, but like when I think of some of my favorite games, I think about like the Mass Effect games, for instance. Yeah. You've heard me talk about those a lot. I love those, and I've bought them on every console and on PC multiple times. Like I've spent a lot of money. They came out with the new remastered versions of them, and I bought that. So like, I love that franchise. Those are probably some of my favorite games out there.
Right.
But in that same vein, like, Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. I love that game, and they're coming out with a remake soon, and I'm pretty excited. I've seen some good stuff about it, so...
they're coming out with like a remastered version?
Yeah, remastered. Like, you know how they remastered Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3? They're doing that with 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't know about this.
Good.
It's literally, I'm so excited for it. I've seen the trailer. I will show you the trailer later. It is absolutely fantastic. You will love it.
That is definitely the fourth one's probably my favorite.
Is it your favorite Resident Evil game, or is it your favorite game? That's the question. Like, what's your... Because, like, again, as I said, I'm a big fan of Mass Effect. I love that Resident Evil 4. I've got a couple others, but, like, what about yourself? Like, what are you kind of...
Well... Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
Fifth one's probably my second. And
how many Resident Evil games have you played, though?
I've played up to the sixth one. So I've played, like, the first one, right, where, like, the camera's up above.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Didn't beat it or anything, but I played it. I enjoyed it when I did play it. I played the second one, right? Actually, I don't think I played the one after that. But the fourth one was kind of at the time where I was introduced to the Resident Evil games.
I mean, that was definitely my first Resident Evil game.
Yeah, so it definitely had the most impact on me as far as those games go. So other than that, favorite games, I don't know if I really have a favorite game outside of that.
A favorite, like a favorite game, like outside of like Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 is in my top 5 for sure. Well, I just can't think of the other 4.
I was just about to say, you just said it's in your top 5. What are the other 4? Well, okay. Well, then let's talk about Res 4, because that's on both of our lists. Then, right?
Yeah.
That's on both of the lists. It's something that we both thought of pretty quick. So like. What makes Resident Evil 4 so good for you? Because I know, like, what makes it really good for me is that overall the game just flows so well. I think from the combat of the game, Leon being a bit shaky with his aim, like he's not so shaky that it makes it look like he has no experience, but he's shaky in the way that like a normal person would be, or like how escorting Ashley, is a escort mission, but it's an escort mission that is so good that it doesn't have the flaw of the escort mission that I would say most games fall into. Like, she's always directly behind you. If you spin around and aim, she ducks so fast that you could never hit her unless you're trying to, that type of stuff. So, like, what do you like about that game?
The thing I like about the game the most is probably nostalgia now. Like, but at the time, there was nothing in particular at the time. I think at the time, I was starting to play video games like a lot.
Yeah.
Right. I got it on the GameCube. Right. That was like my first system. Right.
That's definitely the first one that I remember. Maybe it was the PlayStation 2, but I definitely remember the GameCube.
So for me, I think the game was good overall. Right. I liked every aspect of the game, but what makes it special to me was just the time period of which I was playing it. Right. It was so new to me. Video games are so new to me, and this was one of my first games.
Yeah.
It's a great first game. Right. Like I that would be my perspective on it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I could go on and on about like the ins and outs of that game and really what I enjoyed about it and what I didn't. Because I mean there is stuff that I didn't like about it, but
right.
I mean there's a lot more that I enjoyed about it than I didn't. Like again, I've went in a little bit. I like how, again, I'm not a fan of escort missions. I think escort missions are garbage in every game that they're in. But Resident Evil 4 makes it, I wouldn't say it makes it good, but it makes it manageable or
tolerable.
Like tolerable. Yeah. Like it doesn't.
She was annoying though.
Oh, of course she was.
Leon.
Oh my god.
You just throw her in a trash can.
Stay here.
I gotta fight 3 chainsaw ladies.
I gotta fight 3 chainsaw
and
ladies.
an ogre.
Salvador's coming.
Yeah, and I think the antagonists in the game were really cool too.
You know what? I think that they're really cool, but I think their plan is really dumb. So Lord Sadler, you know, what he does is, you know, Leon, he comes in and they capture him, and then they inject him with their virus because they're like, oh, I'm gonna be like
T-virus.
I don't know the virus that it is. I don't know if it is. It's like a parasite.
It's like an egg.
It's like a parasite egg virus.
Yeah,
but they inject Leon with it. Mm-hmm. But this egg takes like
months.
Days to activate.
Really?
Like,
is it days? I thought it was like weeks.
I think it's like a day. I think it takes like a full day to activate. But like,
I guess it depends on like the timeline of the actual game.
Well, I'm pretty sure the game takes place over
within
the course of like a couple days, but like it starts progressing pretty fast. But I think it's actually a day. It takes a full day from when you are injected for it to fully take control. So Lord Sadler's plan is, I'm going to inject Leon with this, and Leon's such a crazy badass that he'll become like a great boss later for somebody else. Right. But I'm not going to leave him with any guards. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to let him run around and do whatever he wants. Yeah. To the point that Leon shuts down the whole operation and cures himself and cures Ashley. Like, what are you thinking? Yeah. Why don't you just guard him, like lock him up until he is properly, you know, your servant? Like,
Well, there was a point in time where he was tied to Lewis.
Yeah, but that's all they did? They tied him to Lewis?
I know, literally the two people who probably are able to get out of something like that, they tie them together.
Yeah, they tie them together. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I just thought of this because you brought up the Lewis and Leon tied together scene. So when Lewis and Leon are talking, they start talking about Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Okay? And now I am totally fine with the fact that Lewis knows about Raccoon City. You know, that makes sense. But it's the way... See, but here's the thing. They nuked Raccoon City.
Yeah.
They dropped a nuke on an American city. Mm-hmm. Okay? Why would you ever be like, oh, that was the town with the viral outbreak, and not, oh, you mean the town that was nuked? That the Americans nuked?
Oh, you mean his priority?
Yeah, it's
is that it was an outbreak and not
this is the town that was nuked?
Well, you want to know why, probably? Because, like, nukes are something that have been around for a while. Zombie outbreaks are not.
I guess, but, like, I still feel like if... Because, like, I think the zombie outbreak would definitely have been a big thing, but, like...
Well, look how big COVID is.
Excuse me.
And that's not even a zombie outbreak.
No, but, like, think about this. If, like, let's say we got, like, all of COVID into, let's just say, California, right? You got everything in California, and then you nuked California.
Right.
Right? People aren't going to say, oh, you mean the place where everyone who had COVID was. They're going to say, oh, you mean the state that was nuked? Like, that's going to be the bigger thing.
Right.
Right? You literally nuked an American, like, state to destroy it. That's my pet peeve with it. It's just, I feel like it wouldn't be like, oh, that was the town with the viral outbreak. It's going to be like, oh, that was the town that was nuked.
Yeah. I guess. But there's so much information nowadays in so many different streams that, you know, like one news source might refer to it as the town that was nuked. Another one might refer to it as the city that had the zombie outbreak, right? So, I don't know. I think, really, who cares?
Well, I mean, but like, think about this. I mean, like, we know about, like, you know, like in real life, like places that were nuked, like, Hiroshima.
Or Nagasaki,
yeah. So like those are big events. Like, those are history level events.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how big nukes are. That's my point. Is I think it's big enough that like, even with the zombie outbreak, everything in there, I still think the nuke would have been the bigger thing there.
Right.
And I'm upset that he says, oh, that was the town with the viral outbreak.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And like, it's not like he says it with, like, extreme confidence. He's like, Raccoon City? Oh, that was the town with the viral outbreak, right? Like, they nuked an American city!
Yeah. Well, the Americans nuked
the
an
Americans
American city.
nuked an American city, but that would still be big news no matter where you were in the world.
Yeah, it would definitely be big news. I mean, how devastating was it when Lewis died? I was actually pissed.
Oh my God.
I was pissed.
I thought that Lewis was the merchant. I thought that Lewis was the merchant because anytime he disappeared, then the merchant came up.
Yeah, right? Literally right after that scene.
Yeah,
where they escape the ropes, he walks out, and then this guy shows up and goes, "What you buying?
What are you buying?
What are you buying?
What are you selling?"
Yeah, no, we were convinced that he was the merchant.
Convinced.
I mean, he might be, but he's still around.
But the merchant also has the infected eyes.
Yeah.
So, like, the merchant is someone who is infected, but also not under the control. And I'm really confused about that. The merchant makes no sense. But I like him anyway.
You know what? We should... Maybe next episode, we'll dive specifically into the merchant. We'll see if there's any actual, like, formed conspiracy theories.
All right, yeah.
About the merchant.
I'll do some research.
I mean, think about it. Contacts are pretty easy.
True, he could just
just thrown contacts in.
But like, we see Lewis get stabbed. Like,
yeah.
Is it Salazar or is it Sadler?
It's Sadler. Sadler.
Yeah.
Isn't Salazar the midget?
Salazar's the little guy, but but Lewis gets stabbed in the castle.
Yeah, right? By Sadler because he comes out in the robe. And he's the old guy with the robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sadler that kills him. Or was it?
No, I think it's Salazar.
I don't think so.
It happens in Salazar's castle, and I think it's Salazar.
It's not Big Cheese.
That or it's one of Salazar's guards.
He dies in a barn. Remember Big Cheese?
Yeah, Big Cheese.
Yeah,
that's a good boss fight.
That's a great... He's scary, man. I'm pretty sure it's Sadler because I do not remember it being a midget boy.
Well, no, I don't... See, the thing is I don't think... Like, what I mean by that is... I don't think it was Salazar that killed him, but it was Salazar's minions that killed him. Because he has two minions in the robes. He has one in black robes and one in red robes. And you face the red robe one, I think. You face the red robed one in, like, a sewer.
Right.
And you, like, freeze him. And then if you have the rocket launcher, you kill him in one shot. But...
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't look it
and
up.
They're
you
big.
Have a phone?
They're big. They're big like tentacle monsters.
Look it up because I'm curious now.
Okay, hold on.
If it isn't Sadler, I'm gonna be.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me look
up.
What's
that called? The Mandela effect.
Oh my God, we could talk about the Mandela effect.
No, that freaks me out. I don't want to talk about that. I'm pretty sure it's Sadler. Like, who kills Lewis in Resident Evil 4?
Okay, who kills Lewis? Who kills Lewis? Oh no, it is. Yeah, it is Sadler. Sadler eventually caught up and impaled him through the chest with his tentacle tail.
His tentacle tail.
That is the exact description that it says.
Okay.
So it is
Thank
Sadler.
God, because I thought I was going to go crazy after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, man. It's a great game. Everything about it was so much fun. The boss fights were fantastic. The enemies were great. The only thing about that game was the Iron Maidens. They terrified me.
They're not even called Iron Maidens.
They're called Regenerators.
Yeah, they're like Regenerators or something like that. But they're like, we always called them Iron Maidens because there was a variation of them that when you shot them or hit them, spikes came out.
That's right.
And they looked like Iron Maidens.
I'm pretty sure they're called Regenerators.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are called Regenerators.
But yeah, they were the scariest enemy in my opinion in that game.
Well, because they breathe like...
Yeah, and if you didn't have ammo for your rifle, where you have the specific scope...
Oh, yeah, and you have to have that infrared scope. Otherwise, you can't kill them.
You can't kill them. And that... Oh, my God. And they're going...
Yeah. And
they're terrifying.
They are awful. the worst.
They're so scary.
Actually scary.
What's the best weapon in the game? Shotgun. It's got to be shotgun.
No, I mean, the best weapon in the game is the magnums, obviously. But I mean, like, if you're talking, like...
Damage output, yeah.
Or if you're talking, like, what's your favorite weapon in the game, that's a different story.
What's your favorite weapon in the game?
I like the Red 9.
Yeah, that's a great pistol.
I think the Red 9 is great. In the new... Because I think in the remake... I don't know if... Because I think they made Resident Evil 4 VR. But I think they're making the remake also... a VR variant as well.
What? Like first person VR?
Like VR, yeah.
That'd be... Wait, what would diving out a window look like?
I don't know. Yeah, trust me, I have no idea.
How would kicking them...
I don't know.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I don't know, but I know that in a VR setting, the Punisher would be the best weapon in the game because of the penetration that it has.
Is the Punisher the second pistol you get?
It's the one that you can get for free for the getting medallions.
Okay. Yeah, I upgraded the crap out of that, and I killed an ogre with it once.
Yep.
You just shot him in the head.
It's a good weapon, yeah. But the thing that makes that weapon so good is its penetration. It works really good in the castle when the enemies have their shields.
Shields, yeah.
But the thing is in VR, that weapon would be even better because you could actually physically line up your shots to hit multiple people because it has the penetration to go through that. It's really good.
For me, my favorite is the shotgun.
Which one?
The first one.
The original one?
The original shotgun.
But it's so bad compared to, like...
If you upgrade it, it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
I mean, you can... I've been thinking about myself personally doing a no merchant run where I don't buy anything from the merchant, but that means no attaché case upgrades either.
And that's really hard because... You need the room. The thing about the shotgun that I like, okay? I like the way it looks, first of all. And, I don't know, I've always had a lot of success with that first shotgun. If upgraded fully.
I think the Striker is way better because when you fully upgrade the Striker, it gets over 100 shells.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And it's so powerful. Like, its full upgrade damage, I think, almost doubles the original shotgun.
Probably, yeah. The upgrades... are a lot cheaper for the first one.
Oh, 100%.
And it's a cheaper weapon. However, you're right. Like, if you're going straight performance and killing power, you want to go
the TMP is ass.
The TMP is straight ass. Never used it.
So the thing is, there is a reason to 100%. But like there is a reason to use it. It is actually really good if you're getting surrounded because you can do a quick shot, it stuns them immediately. You can get the kick really easy. But it's just not worth it. It's not. It doesn't have enough benefits to how god awful it is. The only other benefit to it is that there's ammo for it literally everywhere because it chews through ammo, which is one of its negatives. Yeah. So, like, even though it has probably the most ammo laid out in the game, it is the worst.
I think the thing I like about well, here's the thing. I think the shotgun in general in the game is my favorite because I've used the Striker. I like it. I like the knockdown.
Yeah.
perk or benefit to it, right?
Yes.
Or if they're close, boom, they all go flying back. And it's got a spread, so it doesn't hit just one person. It could hit 4, it could hit 5.
Yep.
I really like that about the gun. And a lot of the time I would hit them with a shotgun blast, switch to my Punisher, headshot, 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 end it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like mixing the weapons. Rifle's good too in situations.
See, I think the rifle's a weird one because I wouldn't say the rifle is good, but I wouldn't say it was bad. Like,
I think in the right situations it's great. There's some levels and some points in the game where the rifle is fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Like the waterfall. Remember the waterfall area where you have to jump in between the wooden platforms?
Oh, see, I do remember that, but the thing is I have since learned of a way to just cheese that whole area, and it just makes that area so trivial.
Wait till they're almost jumping and then shoot them and they fall.
Yeah, when they're on those parts, you can just shoot them and they all just fall off.
I know.
Like there's no reason. Like the only thing you lose is you lose that on the items, but like you're going to use less not fighting them than you will gain. So it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and if you're good enough with the pistol, anyways, you're good enough with the aim. You don't really need the rifle.
Yeah.
But I think it's good in some points. What other weapons? Was there a crossbow?
No.
I thought there was an explosive thing of some sort.
No, I think you're thinking about like the it wasn't DLC back then. I'm so stuck in our new age of gaming where everything's a DLC. No, it's like when you beat the game, you would unlock extra modes, and I think Ada had a crossbow.
Ada had something. Someone had something that shot explosive.
There was like Krauser.
Krauser is the
Krauser, because you can play like a mercenary. You can play like a mercenary mode where you can use his bow and you're just killing.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's definitely what I'm remembering.
Yeah. But I'm gonna pull us away from some res here because I have a question for you.
Okay.
Now I know that you like Lord of the Rings. You like Lord of the Rings more than you like Star Wars, things like that. Like you're more a fantasy guy than you are a sci-fi guy.
I wouldn't really be able to answer questions on lore or anything.
Well, I'm not going to ask you any questions on lore, but I want to know what your feelings are about Lord of the Rings. So, like, as a whole, and then which one is your favorite movie, and why is that one your favorite?
So I'm probably going to make people mad if they listen to this, because I love Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
But I'm not really good at determining what was in what movie, because it's been a long time since I've watched them.
Yeah.
So, for me, I think my favorite movie? Which one is the one where Boromir dies?
The Fellowship.
That's the Fellowship of the Ring?
That's the first one, yeah.
And then Return of the King is the third one.
Is the third one, yeah.
What's the second one?
Second one is Two Towers. Yeah.
I think the first one is my favorite.
Yeah?
I think the first one's my favorite. I don't know why. I wouldn't be able to give you an answer on that.
So I have a very interesting thing to tell you. So, when I was younger, I liked Return of the King. I thought Return of the King was the best Lord of the Rings movie out of the trilogy. And the reason is because it had the most action, it had the most interesting stuff, like, it had the ghost army going in, taking out
helping Aragorn, right?
Yeah, at the Battle of Pelennor Fields.
Yeah.
It had the sword reforged, like it had Mordor, like all the insides of Mordor. Like, again, it was just like that movie was just really good. And it still is really good now. But as I've gotten older, and I've rewatched Lord of the Rings more and more, because I generally watch Lord of the Rings, I wouldn't say once a month, but at least once every 2 or 3.
Wow.
Because I just really love it.
I've watched it once. And that was like probably 12 years ago.
Yeah, no, I watch it a lot, which I'm going to have to get you to sit down and watch it with me again. But I have become a huge fan of The Fellowship of the Ring. And the thing is this one used to be my least favorite movie because it's so slow and boring. Like, there's not a lot of combat, there's not a lot of, like, it's a lot of setup and a lot of dialogue. but it's really, really important setup and really, really important dialogue. It's setting up the characters.
Yeah.
It's setting up their quirks. It's setting up the actual adventure as a whole. Like, the entire movie of Fellowship is fantastic and has grown on me and become my favorite one.
Well, I'm trying to remember what is the plot for the second movie.
The plot for the
Two
second
Towers. What, like, give me a 30-second like.
Okay. So Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli are trying to find Merry and Pippin, who got taken away at the end of Fellowship.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard?
Yeah, because the Uruk-hai are taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Right.
Frodo and Sam split off to destroy the ring themselves.
Right.
And then Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli's quest turns into saving Rohan.
Yeah.
And beating Saruman's Uruk-hai.
Which was a fantastic fight at the end of that movie.
At Helm's Deep?
That was so sick.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Sick, man.
So good.
Where they're counting how many they've killed, Gimli and Legolas.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then what happens in the third one? Because this is the one I do not remember.
So the third one, they've beat Saruman.
Yeah.
And they've saved Rohan.
Right.
And now Gondor is in danger. And they have to save Gondor. But their steward, Denethor, is kind of a prick and isn't very good at his job, but also is good at his job. It's weird. It's confusing.
This is like the Gondor is like the setting, the castle's kind of like gray, right?
Gondor is
lots of stairs.
Gondor is Minas Tirith. Do you remember Minas Tirith?
I remember it in my head.
Yeah.
What it looks like, and I kind of.
It has the white tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. By the keep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
that's right.
I remember that.
And so they have to save Gondor, because if Gondor falls, then the kingdom of men will fall.
Right.
Right. So originally, Sauron wanted to take out Rohan first, so that he could then crush Gondor because it had no allies. But the defense of Rohan showed Sauron that men are still strong, so now he's going to destroy Gondor while it's weak before they can join forces with Rohan.
Is that when Gandalf and everyone comes riding in to save the day?
No, that's Helm's Deep.
That's Helm's Deep.
That's Helm's Deep. This one, Gandalf is already actually there at Minas Tirith fighting, and Pippin is there too.
I definitely remember Gandalf being there.
Yeah.
For the fight.
Do you remember the tomato scene?
That sounds familiar.
So Denethor is eating, and he's eating, and he gets Pippin to sing for him, and he starts eating tomatoes, and they're just like bursting in his mouth. Like, we'll look it up after so that you could see this, but it just, like, you could probably just type in like Denethor tomato scene, and it'll come up, because it is like, I think he's singing about like, I can't remember what Pippin is singing about, but it's really sad. It's a sad moment because like Denethor is stuffing his face. Oh, while his son Faramir is dying.
Okay. They're at a big long table.
Yeah.
I remember this. I remember now that you're talking about it. He's at the end of the table.
Yeah, he's at the end
eating like a madman.
And then he's like, "Sing me one of your songs."
Yeah. Okay. I totally remember this scene. Yeah. No. I remember tomatoes. I remember chicken. He had like a leg of chicken or something.
Something like that. But it's really the tomato. It's disgusting. The tomatoes though. It's really gross.
It's really gross. Yeah. I remember that scene for sure.
Yeah.
He's stress eating, is what he's doing.
I'm assuming, but like.
He probably eats like that all the time.
He probably does.
Okay. We are almost 35 minutes in already.
35 minutes.
So I'm thinking that we go to some trivia.
Oh, some trivia.
Yeah, so we were thinking about this before this episode, and we wanted to do something kind of special on every episode. So we thought we would do some trivia. So we're each going to ask each other 5 questions. Now, before we get started, do you want to go over the rules, Chris?
Of course, yeah. So we do have an actual set of rules for our trivia, and I've actually written them down. So each participant, so Travis and I, we're going to ask each other questions until we are out of questions, and then we would switch to the next set of questions. So for instance, like, we each have 5 questions to ask the other person.
Right.
So, like, I will either ask all of my questions to Travis first, or he will ask all of his questions to me first. And then we will switch, and then the other person will then get asked those questions. So all 10 questions are going to be asked during this trivia. So, and we'll keep going until we're out. These are multiple, so there are 5 questions, and they are multiple choice. Each of them have 4 answers. Now, these questions are things that we picked ourselves to ask the other person. So I picked 5 questions to ask Travis, and he picked 5 questions to ask me. And we tried to pick questions that we believe the other person to know. Now, there's a couple things here. We're each given 3 lifelines. The first one, this is kind of going off of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, if you've ever watched that.
Yep.
So the first one is the 50-50. Right. So you can use this to knock out 2 wrong answers. Okay. So you have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. You've got 1 wrong answer and 1 right answer for the question. You can use a phone a friend. So, and this we're physically going to do on the podcast if we use it, which could go really good, could go really bad. But you can use a phone a friend. So you can call a friend and ask them the question and see if they know the answer. You get 30 seconds from when they answer the call. For phone a friend. Yeah,
so like if they answer and they're like, hold on a second, you gotta wait.
Yeah, you gotta wait. But you got 30 seconds. They answered the phone. And then the last option you have is skip. You can skip the question to get asked a new question that is not multiple choice.
Right.
But if you get it right, it's worth double points. So each question we get right is worth 1 point. Each question we get wrong, we don't get anything, obviously. And then again, if you use your skip and get it right, you get 2 points instead of 1.
Right.
So instead of getting a maximum of 5 points, you get a maximum of 6. And what we're playing for is the title of Trivia Stud. And we're trying not to be the Trivia Dud.
Okay, so you're either a Trivia Stud or a Trivia Dud.
Yes. Now, going first puts you at a disadvantage.
Right.
Because you don't know if you should use your skip or not. Because you might feel like you can answer all 5 questions, but you don't know if your opponent will be able to do the same. So you might not want to use your skip if you think you can get all 5 right.
Right.
But that could put you at the disadvantage of your opponent using the skip and getting all their questions right, and then getting 6 points and beating you. So going first is always the disadvantage.
Which, by the way, we rock, paper, scissors, and I will be going first.
Okay. So Travis, as he said, is going first. So I will be asking him questions first. I'll ask him all of mine, and then we will switch to him asking me.
Okay, well... Welcome to Trivia with Travis and Kris. This is the trivia show called Stud or Dud.
Are you going to be a stud, or will you be a dud? Let's find out.
That was an awful intro. Anyways, go ahead.
That was absolutely awful. Okay. So I put a lot of thought into my questions for you, Travis, and I hope you're ready. All right. So
I am ready.
You're ready? You ready?
I think so.
All right. So question 1. In the Harry Potter movie, Chamber of Secrets, we learn what Lord Voldemort's original name used to be. What is that name? A.
I can answer this without any of them.
Okay, well, that's not how this goes.
Okay, go ahead.
A. Ron Weasley. B. Lucius Malfoy. C. Tom Riddle. D. Dudley Dursley.
I'm going to go with C. Tom Riddle.
You are correct.
Yes!
That's the first point.
I got 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point on the board. All right. Question 2. Resident Evil is a long-running series. What is the most recent main entry? A. Resident Evil 3 Remake. B. Resident Evil Village. C. Resident Evil Resistance. D. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
The first one was the Resident Evil 3 remake?
Yes.
Oh, it's either that or Village.
Well,
it's that one.
Which one?
3.
You're going
the remake
with,
of 3.
You're going with A.
Yes.
Resident Evil 3 remake.
Yes.
I am sorry, Travis.
That
is not the correct answer. It is Resident Evil Village.
I thought they just remade the third one.
Village was made before the remake of the third one.
I knew Village was super new.
Yeah. But... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Should have phoned a friend.
Who am I going to phone for that? You're the only one I would phone for that.
We never said we couldn't phone each other.
We cannot phone each other.
Oh, dang. Well, it's funny that we talked about Resident Evil and now talking about Lord of the Rings just before this, because my third question is, in the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, we learn that Lord Elrond has a daughter who is in love with Aragorn. Who is this daughter? A. Arwen. B. Éowyn. C. Galadriel. Or D. Eleanor.
It's either Galadriel or Arwen.
You have your You have your lifelines. Would you like to use one of your lifelines?
No, because the 50-50 will be Arwen and Galadriel. Arwen.
So you're going with A.
A for Arwen.
Arwen?
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yes. Oh my god. I knew it was either Arwen or Galadriel. Oh my god. Freaking out, man.
All right.
So I have 2 points out of 3.
You got 2 out of 3. Got 2 out of 3, and we are now on the 4th question. You're looking nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
All right.
Because it gets harder.
I didn't particularly make them in any difficulty. We were originally going to do that, but then we changed the format. So I just kind of put questions in here. But I do think this one is going to stump you.
Okay, go ahead.
But it might not. You might remember this. I tried not to make it too hard.
Okay.
In the popular game, Pokemon, we see a variety of Pokemon in the game.
Mm-hmm.
What Pokemon does Caterpie evolve into? A. Kakuna. B. Metapod. C. Butterfree. Or D. Beedrill.
Metapod.
Are you going with B. Metapod? Is that your final answer?
It's either that or Butterfree. I don't think it's Butterfree.
Would you like to use your 50-50?
Yeah, 50-50 time.
All right. The answer is either A. Kakuna or B. Metapod.
I'm going to go with Metapod.
You're going to go with Metapod?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You are correct. The answer is Metapod.
Yes. Okay. Woo!
All right.
I shouldn't have used it. I should have went with my gut.
I know.
Dang it.
I'm a good game show host, aren't I?
Yeah.
So, you've used 1 of your 3 lifelines.
Okay.
All right. We are on to the 5th and final question. You currently have 3 out of 4 right. So, right now, if you get this question right, you will be able to get 4 out of 5 points.
Right.
So, I'm going to ask you the question. In Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes back in time to which year? A. 1965. B. 1955. C. 2015. Or D. 1985.
1985.
Is that your final answer? Why are you looking at me like that? I'm not going to give you the answer.
So the first 2 were 55 and 65?
The first one is 1965. The second one is 1955.
Actually, I think it's 1955.
Is that your final answer? Or would you like to use your skip? You can do that too.
You know what? I'm going to go final answer for 55.
1955? You are correct. It is 1955 in Back to the Future. That's when Marty goes back. The show takes place in the movie takes place in 1985, and he goes back 30 years.
I had to think because I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, but all I knew was that like 1955 skateboards weren't even a thing yet. So people were like freaking out that he had a skateboard. So even in 1985, skateboards weren't really a thing. So anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. 4 out of 5. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get that. I don't think I'm going to do that well. You didn't use your skip, but you could have. Would you like to hear the question I had picked out for your skip?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll try to answer it. No bonus points, but I would like to see what it is.
Okay. So the skip question. In Doctor Who, all the doctors have a catchphrase. Which doctor asks people if they would like a jelly baby?
I'll go with the 7th.
That is incorrect.
Which one is
the
11th?
answer is the 4th doctor.
Oh, okay.
And he likes to ask, would you like a jelly baby?
I've never watched Doctor Who. So
you haven't, but I have talked to you about it.
You have.
A long time ago.
There's a thing called a TARDIS.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's right. Do you know what it stands for? You know what? I'm going to ask that next week.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, are you ready?
No. But go anyway.
You know what you have? You have your 50-50, you have call a friend, and you have your skip.
Yep.
Okay? Question 1. Who is Nathan Drake's sidekick in the Uncharted series?
Okay.
A. Sylvester Sully. B. Victor Sullivan. C. Bradshaw Iron Fist. Or D. Victor Salamander.
I think it's B.
B. Victor Sullivan?
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
That is correct.
Oh, I was worried because I was like, I'm pretty sure, but it's the last name that I remembered, not the first
Sullivan.
name. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I figured you would know the last name.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny is I've only played a little bit of the first Uncharted game, so that was pretty rough for me to not remember it.
I've beaten all 3 of the first. Well, the first 3 I've beaten.
Yeah.
Question 2. Who voiced the main character Eddie Riggs in the game Brutal Legend?
What?
A. Sylvester Stallone. B. Mr. Sark. C. Jack Black. Or D. Samuel L. Jackson.
It's got to be Jack Black, right? C?
Is that your final answer?
Oh my god, yeah, Jack Black.
That is correct.
Oh god.
You really could see Mr. Sark doing it.
I could have, though. That's why I was like, oh no.
All right, so you are 2 for 2 right now, Chris.
All right.
Question number 3.
Okay.
Which main character and the person you play the most in the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Who is the main character and the person you play the most of in the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare game? A. Soap McTavish. B. Roach Sanderson. C. David Mason. Or D. Captain Price.
I think it is A. Soap McTavish.
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct. I figured the second question might have been hard. Mm-hmm. So I kind of...
It definitely was.
I eased up on number 3 a little bit.
I could see that. I mean, I did that too. I had varying difficulty, but...
Yeah. Okay. Question 4. How many classes can you choose from in the first of its series, Dragon Age Origins? A. Is it 2? B. Is it 3? C. Is it 4? Or D. Is it 5?
So how many classes can you choose from? Mm-hmm. Well, I know that there's 3 races. There's the human, the dwarf, the elf. And then...
in this instance...
There's like warrior, mage, and rogue. So I'm going to say 3.
So you're going for B, 3.
Yes.
That is correct.
Oh, I had to think about it, though. I had to think about the character creation screen in my head.
Dang it.
Okay. All right, I've tied you.
Yes.
I've tied you. So I either have to get this next question right.
Or the skip.
Yeah. But who knows what's this question going to be?
Question 5. Who did Patrick Star rent his front lawn to in the series SpongeBob SquarePants?
Wait, what?
A. A whale named Jonas.
What?
B. A blowfish named Loretta. C. A fish named Howard. Or D. A human named Shaquille.
What the actual hell? What? Who did he rent his lawn to?
His front lawn, yep.
I'm going to use one of my lifelines, the 50-50.
Okay. So, you have one, a whale named Jonas.
Okay.
Or C, a fish named Howard.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Do I risk the skip? Do I risk that skip?
You get 2 points if you get it right.
It's true. It would put me up to 6. And that would be a really good first episode ender. Oh, my God.
I mean, you would tie me regardless.
We would tie, yeah. Yeah.
And we would just have to play again next time.
Play again next time, yeah.
Or you
Actually, I think what we'd have to do is if I don't skip and get it wrong, I have to do your skip question to find out who technically wins, because you got my skip question wrong. But I'm just going to skip because I want to win by a landslide. I'm going to be like the boulder from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I'm going to skip.
That's pretty bold of you.
Yeah.
If you get this question right, I will be so surprised.
Oh, no.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
For the skip question.
Yes.
What year was Sony founded?
1980. I'm thinking 85 in my head. I think it's 1985.
Was that your final answer?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
That is incorrect. It is 1946. You're about 39 years off.
46?
Yes.
Holy shit.
I know.
What?
It's incredibly ancient.
Oh, my God. I would never have known this.
Okay. So we're tied.
We're tied. But that doesn't... How do we win the game? Hold on. I have an answer. I have an answer here.
Okay.
So, I think what we need to do is we need to do an all or nothing question. And we need to ask it. One of us has to ask it, and the person who answers it is either going to win and be the trivia stud, or they're going to get it wrong, and they're going to be the trivia dud. I think that's how we should do it. But how do we determine who asks the question and who answers it? I think we make it a multiple choice. Mm-hmm. And I think... You know what? I think that it should be something that we talked about in the episode.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, like
related to Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Or Lord of the Rings?
Or Lord of the Rings.
Well, I would lose the Lord of the Rings one. That would be unfair.
Well, I mean, how else do you want to do it? Do you have an idea? We didn't think about what happens when we tie.
Yeah, we did not anticipate this.
No.
Okay.
I should have just guessed Howard the Fish.
It is Howard the Fish.
God damn it, I knew it was! Fuck!
You know what? Why don't we just make it simple? We'll flip a coin.
All right. Heads or tails?
Do you have a coin?
You know what? I do actually have a coin.
You can use an actual coin if you
I have a physical coin, yes.
Use a physical coin.
All right, hold on. I'm opening my wallet. Pulling out a nickel.
A nickel.
All
okay.
Right. Heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads. Travis, you are officially the victory stud this week.
The trivia stud.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The trivia stud.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. 1 second. Let's play some music. I am the trivia stud.
And I'm sorry, but Kris is the victory dud this week. But next
trivia
week...
stud, not victory dud.
Oh, yeah.
You're the trivia dud.
I'm the trivia dud. But I'm going to come back next week, and I'm going to be the trivia stud.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening to our first episode.
Yeah, thanks for wasting an hour of your life. This is an hour you'll never get back.
See ya.